Hey everyone, so today we're going to look at how you can record samples into your sequences in your FA06 or FA08 keyboard. So first thing that we want to do is make sure that we actually have samples loaded into these pads. So just go into Song Select and load up a song that you have samples in, or you can load in individual samples off of the SD card. So the next thing we want to do is go into Sequencer. And if you just take a look at the sequencer here, you can see that the type on all these tracks is set to MIDI right now, and except for number 16 down at the bottom is set to pad. Let's just go down here. Here we can see a little better if you can actually enlarge these tracks by just clicking the little enlarge button here, combined with shift. So then down here we can see that this track is set to pad. So what that means is that the source for this track is coming from these pads over here. So if you also notice, if you have this track selected when it says pad there, all your samples are in here, and it even goes through all the banks. So I've got samples all the way down the keyboard now because I have 3 banks of samples in here. Okay, so what we'll do is first let's just record a little lick that we can play over top of. So I'm just going to quickly record a little riff here. So we got our little riff in here. Now since we're only going to have 2 tracks in this song, we don't want to be scrolling up and down every time we want to be accessing our sample track. So what you can actually do is just, if you've moved down here, push the left button over, then you can select this little MIDI type here and just twist the knob here to the right, and now this is set to pad. But one thing you'll notice is that it has set track 16 to MIDI now, so you can actually only have 1 track set to pad at a time. See how I changed? So I'm going to change track 4 to pad, track 3 will change to MIDI, and so on. Okay, so now that we've got this set up here, all we've got to do is we can either select this track and record and use the keys on the keyboard to record our samples, or we can be on any track at all. Let's say we're on track 3 and we hit record. If we hit these buttons on the pads, then it will record to track 2. So let's just try it on track 3, and then we'll hit the one of the samples over here. Okay, so we recorded. See, we were actually selected on track 3 while we were recording, but you can see in track 2 it's recorded my pad events there. So if we play this back now. Okay. So alternatively, if we take a quick peek at this, if we change this back to MIDI, you can see that it's actually just recording notes in there. They're just note events. See, because this is set to full gram, so you're just hearing the piano note, whatever note that is. If we go in and zoom in, microscope. Here we go. So let's put F sharp. So that pad corresponds with F sharp on here. So if we want to, let's get out of here. So then another thing we can do, like I say, so now let's change this back to pad. So if we change it back to pad, don't worry, we didn't lose anything. So we got our samples back in there. So now if I want to, so now we want more samples in there. It's no problem. We can just start recording again. Let's back it up. So then it's recorded another sample event in there. So really, I guess you only need 1 track to record your samples in. You can just overlap the recording events for all your samples into 1 track. But that is basically how you record samples on the FA06 or FA08 Roland workstation.